So as a type 1 diabetic, you have to be in very good control before you fall pregnant. There are a lot of dangers and risks if you have bad blood sugar control while you're pregnant, including miscarriage and stillbirth. So it's a pretty serious undertaking, and you need to speak to your doctor and prep for it ahead of time. So I was in very good control beforehand, and then throughout the pregnancy I had to keep my blood sugar in a very tight range of control. So the way they test that usually is through an HbA1c, which is a 3-month blood test that gives you an average of what your blood sugar has been for 3 months, and normally that has to be below 7. During pregnancy you have them every month instead of every 3 months, and it has to be below 6. So that meant I was testing my blood sugar 8 to 10 times a day and injecting 6 to 8 times a day, and not indulging in many of the things that a pregnant lady would like to be indulging in. One of the conditions that goes hand in hand with type 1 diabetes is high blood pressure, and high blood pressure during pregnancy can lead to preeclampsia. So I was at a greater risk for preeclampsia, and I've always had normal blood pressure, but towards the end of my pregnancy it started rising, and there was also, I had a lot of swelling and water retention, so we had to have Arthur a couple of days early because they thought I was at a greater risk of preeclampsia. The first thing I would say is don't be afraid of falling pregnant with diabetes. Up until about 10 years ago, they said that type 1 diabetics couldn't have babies, which is ridiculous as far as I'm concerned, but there is a lot of fear around it. There's also, I think, a lot of unnecessary worrying around it. I saw my gynae the normal amount of times. I had to see my endocrinologist, my diabetes specialist, once a month, and I had to take blood tests once a month instead of every 3 months. But the result is so worth it, because to have a healthy baby is so awesome. And there's actually only a 5% risk of Arthur developing type 1 diabetes, which is awesome. And I think people don't know that either. And there used to be quite a lot of kind of drama around the fact that if you have it in your genes because you're a type 1 diabetic, you shouldn't necessarily be passing it on to your children, and that's not true, thankfully.